All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this 30 Minutes with session. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kevin Campbell. I'm the Business Relations Coordinator at the Downtown Spokane Partnership and Business Improvement District. Today, we are kicking off the first of our recurring webinar series, 30 Minutes With, where we bring in local industry experts and community leaders to have a discussion with you and provide some useful information and insight that we hope can help you in your business. Today, we are joined by Kristi Gotzian. She is the Director of Advertising at the Inlander. Prior to her work there, she spent 13 years at KXLY in sales and sales management and later formed the business and executive coaching firm, Core Consulting. Kristi is going to be sharing with us some of her expertise on the world of advertising and just giving some insight into best practices and some of the options available to you. So in just a moment, I'll pass things over to Kristi, who has prepared a presentation for us. And then towards the end of the segment, once she's finished, we'll open things up to a live Q&A. If you do have any questions during the presentation, feel free to just please put them in the chat box and we'll make sure to queue those up and address them at the end of that. I should also note that we are recording this session, so we'll make that available to you afterwards if you'd like to reference any of the content or Kristi's presentation. So with that, Kristi, if you are ready, I think I'll pass things over to you. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And if you're ready, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, welcome to 30 Minutes. We're going to have about a 15-minute presentation and then time for questions, if there are questions. So thanks for that nice introduction, Kevin. Yes, I am the advertising director at the Inlander and a Spokane native. I also love downtown. I like to shop and dine out and go to shows. As a mom, I've loved Hoop Fest. I walk Bloomsday every day. And if there's a new experience to have in downtown, I reach for it. I'm incredibly grateful for the companies and entrepreneurs that have chosen downtown as a place to do business. And my hope today is to bring some value or to support your thinking or to help unlock a thought that may be rattling around in you on how to best market your business. The theme of my conversation today is marketing in a pandemic, the gift of COVID. So you've been at this for a little while now and you all know the rules, but I'm just going to do a quick review to get us off and going. So I'm going to do a little screen share here so you can follow along. Pardon me, I gave my assistant some last minute changes and might be a typo or two in here. So be forgiving as you look through it. So the rules are simple, but they're important. The first one, of course, is to stay calm. Don't freak out. Stay visible. Advertise if you can. Budgets are disrupted, and that's understandable. But find a way to stay in front of your customers and stay as visible as possible. Next, be positive. This is really important. Project a future that your customers want to be part of. It's easy to talk about how difficult things have been and how scared we all are. It's so much more powerful if we can create a future for our customers to come back to. Just a quick anecdote. I was out on the West Plains at having a salad, and the waiter was working. He was new at this restaurant, and he was telling me that he was from the Davenport from the Grand, and that with the disruption of hospitality, he had to look for another job. But he went on to tell me how sure he was that once hospitality came back, it was going to come back with a roar. And that we were going to be just where we were, maybe even better before the pandemic started. And I was so rooting for him and rooting for the business that he was working at and rooting for the Davenport. He really engaged my desire to see him be successful. Next, connect in the most personal way possible. If you can email, great. If you can text, great. But if you can pick up the phone and have a conversation with a key customer, that's even better. Next, and this is a little bit more about being positive, position yourself as a survivor. Don't allow your customers to begin mourning your demise. This is the process of beginning the process of disconnection. So, so avoid that, and just understand that how you position yourself with your customer has a consequence. Make it a good one. And then celebrate every transaction. This is an internal celebration sometimes instead of an external high five. And what it translates to is gratitude. Gratitude is a dynamic way of being, and it generates new energy and impossibility. So, so celebrate every transaction, and then make sure that your team does all of the above. So if you can replicate these values in your team, so that if you're not the one behind the counter or the one seating the table, then you have someone that embodies the value system that you have for your customer, for your company, that will be felt by your customers. The customer's perspective is your reality. I think we all know this. COVID has given us the gift of of really understanding that. As we're messaging and finding ways to do this, sometimes with disrupted budgets, the environment matters. So the environment that your messaging exists in is a big deal. So be mindful of what's around that message. The way a customer feels when they interact with your brand stays with them. It may not be conscious in them, but it may manifest as a vague feeling, or it may manifest as a decision to stay home and point and click shop. So we just went through kind of a nasty election cycle. There was a lot of negativity in some of the social feeds. If your messaging is butting up against some of those things, I think you just really need to be understanding that the feeling doesn't shift when a person scrolls to a new section. They're still feeling what they were feeling a minute ago while they're interacting with your brand. There are lots of ways that you can increase the positivity of your message, but it's just something to know about and think of. Branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. This is a quote from Jeff Bezos, and I think it's safe to say that he's created a pretty rock solid brand in Amazon. Branding takes time to establish. It needs repetition and consistency. It creates a collective reality. It is what most people that know you think about your business. Legacy media, print, radio, television, is the workhorse of branding, and COVID is testing your branding. COVID is like the velociraptors at the fence, looking for weakness and testing and exposing the weaknesses in your branding. I consider that a gift of COVID, because if you can start to see the weak links in your branding, then you can shore them up. Marketing, on the other hand, is enthusiasm transferred to the customer. I like this quote because marketing is energy. Where your brand is like that foundational way of thinking about your business, marketing starts to get personal. Marketing is the one-on-one reality. It requires a call to action or an invitation. It unlocks desire in the consumer, and it really speaks to the person that is currently in front of you. It speaks to how they feel about your business. So where branding is macro, marketing is micro. It's one-on-one experiences with your company. Digital marketing was built for this, and COVID has opened up lots of opportunities here. So we're gonna talk about marketing a little more in a second. the next, I think of this as a tripod between branding and marketing and the customer relationship. So relationships cannot be made. You're not the creator of things. I don't know if I agree with that part of the quote, but I like the next part a lot. They are grown from the seeds of trust, watered with the care of your attitude. And I think that's absolutely spot on. The customer relationship is the impact of your one-on-one marketing. This relationship has the potential to withstand rebranding, downturns, bad reviews, etc., and must be tended. You tend it when a person comes into your business, when they order a cocktail at your bar, when they walk in and see your merchandising, the way you say thank you, the way you follow up, all of those things fall into the category of tending. So hold on, before I go to this, I'm going to stop screen sharing for a second. So I have become obsessed with a little online brand that sells reading glasses. So every once in a while, a company or a business will grab your attention, and I just haven't been able to get this company out of my head. So it's a company called Caddis, Caddis Eye Appliances, and I'm going to hold this up so you can see. This is the box that these glasses came in. So they sell readers, and their target, of course, if you need readers, then you're probably over 45. And if you're over 45 and you're buying readers and you're on Zoom all day and you're interacting with people, the actual action of taking your readers off and on and dealing with that, it sort of does a little bit of a head trip on your ability to feel relevant sometimes. So this company kind of realized that and created a whole business model around relevance and aging. So I'm gonna put these glasses on, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about branding. So this is a website where when you go on it, you're gonna see, an older demographic, maybe in tats and dreads with cool eyewear and in really artistic settings, that kind of thing. But I ordered these glasses because I thought they were really cool. So if you know me, you may think, oh, Kristi, what are you doing? Those are ridiculous. Those are so silly. But if you don't know me, then you might say, huh, well, she's got attitude. It takes a lot of courage to wear something like that. Wow, there must be something to her. Now, back to branding, if I wore these consistently and you repeatedly saw me in this eyewear or eyewear like this, you may start to incorporate that into who you know me to be. So over time, these would become part of my personal brand. But it takes a while, right? And it probably isn't really going to stick with you as part of my personal brand unless I'm really owning it. Like it's really an authentic expression of self for me. Same with your business, right? Your brand has to be an authentic expression of what your company is really about. So this eyewear that I have on right now came in this box, and on the back of the box, now we're doing some marketing, right? So in the back of the box, it says, this is for people who are not in the long process of giving up. It has everything to do with age, but nothing to do with your job, your gender, or whether you live in Orange County or Hazard County. It has to do with being who you are and owning it. So now they're just like, hey, step into it, right? You don't have to wear those cheaters from Costco and fumble around for them. You can really step into your own personal brand at this point in your life. So now this company has kind of had this interaction with me on a personal level. So that's marketing. So as they have continued to, and I'm going to put my other glasses on. right here, because I'm not owning those yet. But as they've continued to interact with me since I made this purchase, they've continued to send me things that have just gotten me kind of fired up about their brand. So the next thing they sent me was a graphic in an email, and it was just a message. And what it said was, since we can remember, we've been told that once you reach a certain age, you need to put things away, certain energies, activities, belief systems, or feelings. It is our humble opinion that this is straight up bullshit. Okay, so now they've just captured my imagination, and since then I've been back to the website 2 or 3 times looking for something else to buy. Okay. So back to COVID, back to the pandemic, and marketing for a minute, and back to messaging. So another gift of COVID, I assert, is that we know what our customers are asking of us right now. So marketing is just answering questions, right? So all we're doing is we're answering a question that a customer might have. And a customer has a question right now of, are you open? This may seem really fundamental and really simple, but it isn't. I'm sure each one of you have tried to go to a place of business, order something, only to find out that the hours on the website or on their Google listing are outdated, and you don't really know where to go from there. It's like, well, are they open? Are they just not open today? Did they close early? What's happening? So the customer asking the question, are you open, is a fundamental one to answer. So this is simple. Update your Google listings, your websites, your social media pages, and be relentless about it. A message here would be, we miss you. We're open. Maybe we're not open at the hours we were before, but we miss you. We're open. Come see us. Next is, how do we do business together now? And these messages in any form of your advertising could be about curbside delivery, video chat, asking the customer the question, what works for you? Do you want to talk on the phone and tell me what you need? Do you want to do a Google Hangout? Are you comfortable coming into my business? Do you need to know what protocols we're following? Are you not comfortable in coming into my business? Do I need to somehow get to you? And then of course the big question is, am I safe? Am I risking anything by coming into your business? Do you want me to come in? Are your employees comfortable with human interaction in the time of COVID? Am I welcome? Am I going to feel welcome when I come in? These may be things that we assume we're going to hit the mark on, but I think they deserve some consideration and review. How is it? If you've walked into a business with someone that needed that job, but is really not very comfortable being, interacting with other people, you're going to feel it. So there's a lot to manage there, I know, but something to consider in your marketing. The message in your marketing could be that you're following guidelines. It could be that it's easy to do business with you. Could be that you want to see people, that you really want to see your customers. And then this is the next one is at the end of the transaction. Should we do this again? Was it a good experience? And coming from the business, from your perspective, this needs to be a full-bodied yes. We want you back. Here's what you can expect next. Here's what we have coming up. We want to follow up with you. Can we send you a newsletter? So these are some core messages that you can incorporate into your social media, your online advertising, your print ads in the Inlander. Our job at the Inlander is to help you find your place in our collective community. You, our readers, advertisers, and event goers, make up Inlander's collective reality. We reach out every week and we ask you to think, we ask you to give, to shop, to dine out, to go out, to get involved. And we give you lots of reasons why. So you're an important part of who we are in the community, and we see this as a symbiotic relationship. Couple of ways you could be part of that would be in the Weekly Inlander, in our lifestyle magazine, Inlander Health and Home, our annual manual, which of course comes out once a year, our restaurant guide, the menu, shop local. That's I was just showing Liz and Kevin our pandemic cover for shop local. It's hard to put a person's face on an annual publication right now. So we got a little clever with that. And then our newest publication on stands is the Spokane Holiday Magazine. This is a terrific holiday magazine that is going to show lots of people out of the market and in the market different ways to enjoy the holidays in downtown Spokane and around the county. It's beautiful, and it really makes our region look like someplace to come and visit and enjoy the holidays. So that's what I've got.
All right, Kristi, well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Now we can open it up to a question and answer segment. If anyone has any questions for Kristi before we go, now is the great time to do that. If you'd like to unmute yourself or type it into the chat box.
Hey, Kristi, it's Chad.
Hi, Chad.
Good seeing you. Love the glasses.
Good seeing you too.
Very cool. I like
Isn't it fun?
Yeah. Hey, good. I appreciate the presentation. We do, Hutton Settlement does an annual, and that's why this topic sort of caught my curiosity. We do an annual Christmas tree sale every year. And this year we're struggling with obviously like everyone else is, with the COVID piece of it, because majority of our sale is the experience of the customer coming on site, working directly with the child to pick out a tree, buy the tree, maybe have hot chocolate, go to the bonfire, and obviously we have to take all that away. So when you have an experience-based, that's where the creativity is, and we're trying to go there. But how do you communicate? I mean, ours is an annual sale, and taking that experience away, we're not sure what's going to happen this year with it. We still order the same amount of trees, have the same amount of trees as last year, but how do you, I guess, what would your recommendation be for us to replace that experience? Or is that something?
Well, it's a great question, and it's a challenge that a lot of organizations are having right now, because their events and all of the development that they put in to make their events cool has been disrupted. So when I was talking about branding and how branding will feed into a relationship, it's your relationship where people will understand and forgive the challenges and the changes. It's reaching out, I think, to your core, those people who are so reliable to come and support you, and to say, hey, we want you to continue to be part of this program. We understand that we're not delivering the experience like we have in the past, but your support is important to us, and we really would like for you to come in and be part of this program as it is during COVID. We want to see you. And I think the invitation, if you can make it personal, if you can, kind of amp up your outreach and say, please come, please join us. This is still the organization that you have fallen in love with supporting. This is still the great group of kids that, they're missing out on this experience too. But let's do what we can this year, and next year we'll be back to deliver what you expect of us.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Any last questions before we kind of hit our 30-minute mark here with Kristi? All right. Well, Kristi, thank you again. Oh, sorry. Looks like we have one here. Kristi, do you have an example of someone local who has done a great job of pivoting during this time?
Oh, what a great question. Searching for one of my downtown examples. We've seen so much of that over the last few months. There are a couple of things. A remarkable pivot has been the way that downtown has transformed parking. Those prime parking spots that we've all coveted and tried to get and used our good karma to slide into to go in and shop. So this 10-minute parking and the curbside pickup and that sort of thing has opened up some new thinking, I think, for people who just want to run in and support downtown and make a purchase. I see restaurants like Ruins, where they're the tiniest of restaurants, and so if they're at 50% capacity, that means they can have about 2 tables in there. So they can't do business like they're used to doing. So they totally pivoted to takeout, and you really have to follow them. But their family style takeout has been the stuff that legends are made of. They're producing really high quality food, the kind of food that that a foodie or a frequent diner would be interested in. Only they've done it in a way to make it accessible at home. So I think there are tons of stories with the restaurants. I'm a frequent flyer at the Nordstrom cosmetic counter, and I was really excited to see the reset of the first floor of Nordstrom, and knew about it before COVID and was excited, to experience it. And when I initially went in the early stages, all the employees had on masks. The new environment was pretty sterile, and I thought, wow, this isn't going to work. And I just got worried for this kind of hub of activity in downtown Spokane. And I thought, oh, there's no way they're going to be able to make this anything that anyone wants to spend any time in the middle of. And then a month or so later, I went back down, and they had completely revised their product placement. They had bright product placement and displays and color. Everyone was still in masks, but it seemed as though their personnel was even dressed a little more casually, and those subtle changes just made it more accessible as a consumer to come in and get started. Still things they can't do. They can't show you a product on your skin or touch you or do any of the things that traditionally they would do in order to make the sale. But they found a way to be intimate with the consumer and to be casual and comfortable in spite of that. So I thought that was a great example of a pivot too.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. It looks like we're just about at our time, so we'll wrap things up here. Kristi, thank you again for all of that. And as I mentioned to everyone, we are recording this session, so we'll make that accessible to you. And Kristi, we can include your email address if anyone has any further questions they'd like to ask. If you are interested in joining our next 30 minutes with a session, that'll be next week, Thursday, November 19th at 2 p.m. We're going to be speaking with Edie Rice-Sauer, who is the Executive Director at Transitions. And Edie is going to be discussing childcare and some of the economic impacts that have come along during this pandemic, as we're seeing a lot more people have to make tough decisions about balancing both their professional career and finding good childcare. So that should be interesting. If you'd like to register for that, you can go to downtownspokane.org and go to our events page, and you'll find a registration link there. So thank you all again for joining us. Kristi, thank you. And have a great rest of the day, everyone.